This is the 19.6-inch Harvok Suit of Armour. Now, this caravan does things a little bit differently. I'm talking monocoque construction and a 48-volt electrical system. Now, these are things that you don't typically see in caravans sold here in Australia. I'm here with Grant Joyce from Harvok. Now, Grant, let's start at the beginning. Talk to me about the construction of the caravan, the monocoque stuff in particular.
So it's a 2mm aluminium skin robotically welded to an aluminium frame. Once we've done that, we then go and spray full insulation foam on the inside, so it gets into every nook and cranny. But the aluminium panels are robotically welded, so that's where you get your monocoque. So when you look at it, you can see it's just one piece.
These aren't, composite aluminium panels like we might see in other caravans, are they?
No, they're not. They're just built, it's built just like your motor vehicle. So it's all pressed metal and robotically welded together.
And one of the major benefits of this is, well, no joints. You don't see a J-mold on this thing.
No J-molds, no screws and silicons holding the panels together, and also no vents at all in the van.
Now, as I said, this van has a 48-volt electrical system, and that's not something you typically see on an Aussie caravan. And look, for those who don't know, 48 volts, it gives you essentially more bang for your buck. It's a more energy efficient system. So effectively what you're getting is more energy in the same size or even a smaller battery pack.
That's right, yeah, absolutely. So we've got 10 kilowatts of battery power there.
And that's roughly equivalent to what, 800 amp hours?
830 amp hours of your 12-volt lithium battery system in a much smaller area.
And now this caravan's going to have an inverter, like 3,000 watts. So it's going to be more efficient too, stepping up from the 48 volt to your 240 volt.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you've got a smaller gap from 48 volt to 240 compared to your 12 volt to your 240. So it's a lot more efficient there.
And how do you feel your customers are adapting to 48 volts?
Oh, they're starting to come on board and understand the benefits of it. They've got to also understand that the 48 volt is actually just our battery storage. Everything is still run off 12 volt and 240 volt power. So everything's still the same as what they're used to.
And that is a crucial point, isn't it? Because all the appliances in this caravan still, they're 12 volt, traditional 12 volt
off the shelf appliances. Absolutely, yeah. All your microwaves, your induction cooking, your fans, your aircon, it's all your 240 volt appliances that are straight off the shelf here in Australia.
So really, we're just talking about the way the energy is stored in the batteries in a smaller, pack, if you like.
Absolutely, and they'll take a lot higher current to charge. So when you want to charge them, you can really thump that charge in.
This caravan's got your solar panels. Talk to me about that.
So we've got 960 watts of solar on the roof. On a decent sunny day, we're going to be getting around our 800, 750, 850 watts into our 10 kilowatt system.
But is that the only way you've got to charge these panels, or have you got a DC to DC charger as well?
So the DC to DC charger, we use that from the vehicle. So as we're travelling, we're getting, on your common vehicles, we're getting around 700 watts of power getting in there. Yeah. And we're also charging off the sun and the car at the same time. It's not one or the other.
Now, how do you find towing the caravan?
I've just driven down from Sydney, as you know. We did the freeway stuff and it just towed like a dream, even going past the trucks and trucks going past me. The aerodynamics of the van, you'll notice on the front and the rear, we've got the little scoop on the front and a little scoop on the rear.
I wanted to ask you about that. Has there been any testing?
There has been. So in the simulations, it actually shows, and it's on our website where you can see it's in the wind tunnel there, at a higher speed, the quicker you go, it actually forces the van to the ground. So it makes it safer, sit steadier behind the car. And that's why I reckon I noticed coming down here yesterday that when I'm going past trucks, there was none of that real pushing sideways movement. It just sat in there beautiful. And then I come up through the Dandenongs to come down through here, through the twisty, windy roads. And yeah, just absolutely towed like a dream.
So with all of that power, there's absolutely no need to have a gas bottle on this caravan?
No, absolutely no gas bottle. And the benefit of that is that we're a gasless caravan. Being gasless, we don't have any vents. No vents means no dust. But the other benefit of it is when we want to run our aircon off grid, because there's no hot air or cool air getting in through all those vents, the aircon will actually cycle on and off. So it won't be running for hours on end. It'll cool the box down, switch off. Therefore, we're saving a lot of power in that way as well.
So do you find this caravan to be quite thermally efficient?
Absolutely, yeah. There's 35mm thick insulation in the van, so it keeps it well, and no vents for the
cold air to escape?
Cold air to escape.
Or the hot air for that matter. Have you got a heater?
Yeah, we just use reverse cycle on the aircon.
Being monocoque and being gasless, we're not going to have anything in the way of dust ingress, are we?
That's right, because we've got no vents. You know, common vans, you've got the big vent under the bottom of the door, another big vent up near the bed for your gas regulations. That's where your hot air will come in or your cold air will come in. So when you're trying to run heaters and air conditioners in the vans, all that air is getting pushed out.
So the body of the caravan is actually made overseas. Is there a particular reason?
Absolutely, yeah. We can't afford to make cars here in Australia. It's all robotically built. It's the same thing there. You could not afford to build the factory with the robotics in there here in Australia to get that finish and that strength out of a caravan.
Yeah, like I was looking at it, and as I said to you, you know, running my hand down the seams, if you like, it almost feels like a fold. It's that precise, but that is the precision that you get out of a robotic welder.
Absolutely, yeah. So that makes it seamless. The robotic welding absolutely makes it seamless.
And that's how you get the monocoque construction.
Correct.
Tell me about some of the other features. You've got Cruisemaster suspension. That's a really good setup.
Yeah, absolutely. So we use all the same top quality products that all the top quality Australian manufacturers use, being the Cruisemaster suspension, Aussie Traveller windows and doors, the Telair air conditioning, Ornlux awning, your Dometic fridges and freezers and your Dometic toilets, Truma hot water systems.
Now, question without notice, Grant. A lot of people now are moving away from the cassette toilets and are moving more towards composting toilets for good reason. Can you fit that?
Absolutely, we can fit, we can do a lot of changes. So we can fit that composting toilet for the customer. We can do the airbag suspension, we can do self-leveling airbags, we can customise the van to really suit what the customer wants and needs.
Now, you mentioned that Ornlux awning, Grant. That's electric, but it also has a backup option, doesn't it? So, you know, if your batteries run out of juice or something breaks, you can still wind your awning.
You can still wind it in, yep. Just put the handle in, wind it in and out. You don't have to use the electrics to wind it in or out.
There's also quite a few features happening on the inside of the caravan. You've got the full rear ensuite, which also includes a washing machine. Now, I didn't quite expect a washing machine in this caravan. I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like there's anything missing.
No, the vans have got everything in them. So, everything from your microwave oven, induction cooktop, air conditioning, your washing machine, outdoor showers. They're fully loaded.
And if I was to ask you what your favourite, aspect or feature of this caravan, what would you say?
Yeah, so my favourite features would be the versatility of it being full off-grid. Doesn't matter where I go, I don't need to go and plug into power. And being full off-road, I can just take it up any track I like.
I'll tell you what I like, and it comes down to the monocoque construction, because in my field, I hear horror stories all the time about caravans leaking, developing rot in the Meranti frame over time. The fact that you're just eliminating that altogether, and as you said, you don't have to reseal anything, to me, that is just an absolute winner. This is one of the most innovative constructions that I've seen in a little while. I'm telling you, this caravan is well worth your time coming to check out. So Grant, thank you for bringing it down all the way from Sydney to my backyard in Melbourne. Really appreciate it.
That's all right, mate. Beautiful backyard you got down here too.